I bought the only $75 flashlight at Wallmart, but it came with a controversial list of rules. By Flashlight Stan. I suffer from nyctophobia, an overwhelming fear of darkness. For this reason, I'm addicted to flashlights and have 3 shelves dedicated to my collection in my living room. I never leave my house without at least 3 on my person. The thought of being stranded in the darkness tightens my throat and makes me want to crawl to my bed, cheeks clenched, praying not to mess myself. However, this is easier said than done, and I often have to call into work for personal reasons. But I digress. One night, I was lying in bed listening to some intense ASMR. I experienced an overwhelming urge to go to Wallmart. They had just released a new Turbo Ranger flashlight, the coveted 78X model, and I was desperate to get my hands on one. So I threw on my joggers, laced up my Osiris shoes, and sped to my neighborhood W. When I got there, I beelined for the flashlight section. The moment I saw the Turbo Ranger 78X, my lips quivered with ecstasy. There was only one left in stock. I placed that sucker under my arm and sauntered, Osiris shoes flapping on the sticky linoleum, to the self-checkout line. When I got home and unboxed this bad boy, I found a folded up piece of notebook paper taped to the lid of the box. This paper was yellowing around the edges and filled with sprawling writing. I paused and held the note to the light. This is what it said. 5 rules for surviving the curious man. Number 1. Never look the curious man in the eyes. He views this as a challenge and will immediately punch you in the throat. Number 2. Only turn on your Turbo Ranger 78X when the curious man is hunting you. This is the only weapon powerful enough to stop him, and will save your life if used properly. However, if used improperly, the flashlight will self-destruct, taking half of your skull with it. Number 3. Should you ever feel the urge to drink water between 3:01 and 3:05 PM Central Standard Time, don't do it. The curious man is playing a trick on you and will suddenly appear behind you, flapping his hands in your ears like dead fish. Number 4. Stay perfectly manscaped at all times. The curious man is drawn to certain aromas, so you need to be as clean and fragrant as possible. If you slip on personal hygiene even for a day, then he will be able to locate you no matter where you are and will murder you slowly. Number 5. No matter what you do, never befriend somebody named Jim. The curious man hates people named Jim and will inflict unimaginable torture upon you should you do this. Underneath these rules was scrawled the following postscript. You have now been initiated. Welcome to the Brotherhood. Your first test begins now. Billy Earl. I heard a loud sound in my backyard. I sprinted over to my window and screamed when I saw a grotesque creature staring at me from behind the shed. What's the matter? Said Greg, my roommate. Why are you screaming? There's something in our backyard, I said, voice trembling. Come look. I listened as Greg hurried into the room and paused beside me. When he saw the creature languishing on the grass, he let out a scream so piercing I yellowed my briefs. What the F is that? I have no idea. Isn't it horrifying? It sure as hell is. It looks like a walking corpse. What's that black stuff oozing from its pores? Before I had the chance to respond, the creature leapt through the window in a single leap. It howled like a hyena as it landed on the floor and eyed me with such rage that my legs quivered.
Hello, Stan,
it said, voice winding through the room with unnatural volume. "Who are you?" I said.
I am the curious man, here to collect your soul.
My heart thudded inside my chest. Was that list of rules serious? Or was this some kind of prank? Although I didn't want to believe the creature standing before me was real, one whiff of the fetid gore lining its mouth was enough to prove to me its corporeality.
Don't be scared,
said the curious man.
My bite only hurts for a moment. However, once your head is severed and your soul is in my possession, I will show you why death is superior to life.
He lunged toward me, unhinging his jaw like a snake, the side of his black tongue wagging at me through the pale yellow light of the ceiling fan stole the air from my lungs. Operating purely by instinct, I flipped on the Turbo Ranger 78X and pointed the beam at his head. Fire consumed the curious man's face, sending him plummeting to the ground. He let forth a guttural scream that shook the whole house, jumped to his feet, then bolted out the window. Just as he was about to hop the fence, he turned around and uttered a single message.
I'll be back.